Today's tutorial is on this look from my TikTok as usual, so let's just get started. Oh, I also have microphones this time, so the audio will be so much better. To prep my skin, I use Charlotte Tilbury Magic Water Cream. I have very dry skin and this doesn't really work well for me. I think it's definitely better suited for oily skin. For primer, I'm using Natasha Denona primer. It has like little pearls in it and it makes your skin look very dewy and shiny, and I've been really loving this for my dry skin. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like little pearls in it and it gives you almost kind of like this glass skin effect that everybody loves. And it's very hydrating, which my dry skin loves a lot. For foundation, I'm using Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. It's not my first choice. I typically use the Pat McGrath foundation, but my shade has been sold out for a few months and I'm like scared it's never gonna return. So I'm trying to use other foundations in the meantime because I don't want to run out of that one. If you like that really dewy and glowy look, you're gonna love this foundation. I don't know what this brush is called. It's from Dibs and I'll link it down below, but I'm gonna use this end to blend out my foundation. As you can see, this foundation is really dewy and shiny, so if you're into that, you'll love this foundation. For concealer, I'm using Natasha Denona in the shade N1, and these are the areas that I put my concealer. And a little bit goes a long way. I guess we'll cover up my inflamed acne too. Hourglass concealer brush to blend this out. This brush is literally heavenly and blends everything so beautifully. Then I go back to the foundation brush and go over these concealer areas just to blend it out because I know that color was like very, very white and bright, but I like that for my face. And then just like that, the concealer is blended a lot more seamlessly. For contour, I'm using Patrick Tashi's Sculpted, and as you can see, I really love and use this thing. And then this is a Merit Beauty blending brush. I'm not sure which one, but I'll find it and I will link it down below. And this brush blends the contour very seamlessly. So I like to put this on my forehead and my temples, like so, and then my cheek area. And I lightly just swoop this over my nose and then my jaw. For big juicy lips, you can add some around your lip area and it gives it that illusion and depth. Really big, full lips. I'm gonna go back to the foundation brush and like press around the edges so that it blends with the concealer and the contour. And I like to just press over the jaw just to make sure it's not too crazy or harsh down there. So everything blends very nicely together. I don't want any harsh lines. For blush, we're using Armani Cheap Tint in the shade Flaming Red and an Hourglass brush. I'm not sure which one it is, but I will link it below. This color is very pigmented, so I'll just do 2 tiny dots and I think we should be good. Okay, I was wrong. I want a little bit more, actually. And with whatever's left over, go over the bridge of my nose. A little bit on the forehead. And a little bit on the chin. I always like to go back in with my foundation brush and press over the area where I put blush, just so everything blends smoothly. Okay, that kind of neutralized some of the red and I don't look as crazy. Now for the fun part, we're moving on to the eyes. A little bit of concealer as our base so that the eyeshadow stays and does not crease. Blending that out with the concealer brush. MERCIER Eye Caviar Stick in the shade Dark Cacao. I love eyeshadow sticks, especially if you're in a rush and just need your eyeshadow done in seconds. These come in extremely handy and cut down your makeup application time by so much. You can blend with your finger, but I find it so much easier and faster to blend with a brush like this one. This is a Morphe M173. I like to just tap this into whatever area I want to concentrate the color in. These are extremely effortless and beginner friendly. I personally love using eyeshadow sticks when I'm in a rush and I need to get ready in under like 30 minutes. To blend out the edges, you can use your fingers like so to make it a little less harsh. Next, we're going in with Patrick Ta Eyeshadow Duo. This is the shade Do You Know Who I Am? And I'm using this opaque color. I'm first gonna go in with my fingers and then a brush. And I'll just lightly tap this over my eyelid. I really genuinely do think that this look is very beginner friendly. There's not a lot of blending or any harsh lines going on. It's just a big, beautiful, sparkly mess. Then I'm taking a Sigma E40 and picking up the color with this brush. I'm applying this up here where my fingers couldn't reach and just blending this out so that the glitter application doesn't have any harsh line. You can apply as much or as little as you want, but if you're wearing this at nighttime, I say apply a shit ton. Using the flat side of this DIBS eyeshadow brush to pick up this white color in the shade We Need Better Lighting. This is going to follow my natural crease line and apply this to the inner 1/3 of my eye, so I'll stop like right about here. Going into Mario Master Mattes palette with the Sigma E25 and picking up this dark brown color. And applying this to my outer crease area very, very gently so that I don't apply too much color. Adding this dark brown to the outer crease area gives your eye more depth and an illusion of a cat eye. I like to use a lot of very gentle patting motions to disperse the color. Filling in my brows really quick with the MAC Brow Definer, and this is my new favorite brow pencil because the tip is really, really thin and it helps with precise brow application. I'm going to lock the brows into place with the MAC Brow Gel. This is actually my first time using it, so I'm excited to see what it's like. It's hard for me to do this on camera, but I'm tightlining with Huda Beauty Creamy Kohl to the top and bottom waterline. For eyeliner, I'll draw on a small and messy little wing, and then I'll go back in after my eyelashes are on to really emphasize and bring out more of a wing. And I do it like that because I can see the shape of my eye better after my lashes are on, and it just makes it easier. I didn't really make a big mess, so I'm just going to use what's left over of my concealer brush and clean up under my eye area. And I like to drag the concealer brush under my wing like that. YSL Lash Clash for mascara, and curl your lashes before because it makes a really big difference. I like to use this mascara when I want a sultry cat eye look. I'm setting my face before I move on with the eyes, and first I'm going to spray the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray before applying any powder. Doing this before powder rehydrates and brings the makeup back to life so it looks a little less cakey, and then I like to fan this so that it dries faster. Before you go on with powder, make sure any creases are blended out, so for me that is my smile line and then underneath my eyes. I'm using Makeup by Mario setting powder in the shade Neutral Light and a Huda Beauty powder puff, and I'll just set underneath my eyes. Go down the side of my nose, and then under my cheeks, and my chin. Patting in the powder with this side of the hourglass brush. And then I'll take whatever's left over on the brush and pat that over my forehead, as well as the bridge of my nose. For bronzer, I'm using the Patrick Ta contour brush and YSL in the shade 02, going over my cheek area with this, into my forehead and temples. This will help bring back warmth into my face. A teeny bit on my nose, and a little bit around my jaw area. Using the coral shade from Givenchy for blush. A little bit on the nose, on the forehead, and the chin. Now going back to the eyes, I'm using an e.l.f. eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to pick up this white color again, applying this to my inner eye area. Spectrum B11 to pick up this dark brown color again, and applying this underneath my lower eyelid right here. Taking a clean fluffy brush, this is from DIBS, and lightly blending this out so the color is a little bit more diffused. For lashes, I'm using House of Lashes Natalia. I like to cut about 1/3 from the inner corner piece. And then after the lashes are on, I'll go in and redefine and make the wing longer or wider. I kind of just like to see the shape of my eyes after the lashes are on. It just helps. And I also want to connect the top and bottom wing. It's hard doing this on camera, so I'm sorry that this isn't really the best explanation. Ultimately, I just want to redefine and darken my waterline and my eyeliner. I'm gonna go back in with Charlotte Tilbury setting spray to rehydrate my face before I go any further. I would recommend covering your eye area to avoid creasing, but I just don't do that. And then refan. I don't know if you can tell, but it brings life back into my face because my skin is really dry, and it just brings back moisture and it makes my skin look a little dewy. Very crucial step. Before I apply bottom mascara, I like to go in with whatever's left over on my powder puff and go over my under eye area so that the mascara does not transfer. And then pat that in with the Hourglass powder brush. And I'm using YSL Lash Clash for the bottom lashes too. Urban Decay Demolition for my beauty marks. For lip liner, I'm using MAC Beige Turner. It's a very warm brown shade. And I overline my lips like so. For gloss, I'm using the Lawless Forget the Filler Plumping Gloss in the shade Nudie. And I love this formula. I actually started using the clear color as my everyday lip. This formula provides a really nice plumping effect that's still very hydrating. It's not too much and it's not too little. So I really like this gloss. It has a very gentle, refreshing tingle to it. We want this makeup to last, so the very last step will be the One Size On Tilt On setting spray. This is the finished look. Thank you for watching.